Welcome. I'm Bill Berthel, and this is the Get Emergent podcast. Our team at Emergent has worked with leaders from all different industries at all different levels. And if there's one thing we've learned in the 20 plus years of our business, is that leadership is a continued conversation. We're glad you're here. Welcome back to the Get Emergent podcast. We're glad you're here listening again. And welcome back, Newell. Newell, thank you. I'm looking forward to this conversation around stress. I think we all have it. There are good forms and less resourceful forms of stress.
Yeah.
I think we're going to mostly focus on stress in leadership and how that might affect our performance and our teams and ourselves. I think we sometimes forget ourselves and the effect of stress, maybe until it's a breaking point or something we remember. But let's get more proactive and creative than that.
Yeah.
So, got stress?
Of course.
A little bit?
Of course. It's not every day I'm sitting in front of a camera.
Yeah, that's right.
There might be some stress.
That's right.
You know?
Sure. Yeah.
Of course, I'm with you. So how can I feel stressed?
Well, I hope I have a calming effect on most people, but still, there's performance stress and anxiety.
Right.
I have a colleague who approached me and said, "You never seem nervous when you go into a training session." I'm like, "Let me tell you what I am like hiding from you right now." Right? Like it's the classic duck on a pond.
I was going to say that.
The feet are doing that, but on the surface you don't see it. So I've learned how to mask that or cover it.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes resourcefully, sometimes not.
Yeah.
But as leaders, we have a responsibility to stress and ourselves, don't we?
Right. For our work with teams and leaders, where it becomes critical is how is it affecting the performance of the team?
Yeah.
And the leader.
Why does it matter?
How many people are out sick because of they claim, and it's not a claim that's real. They're physically being impacted.
Yeah.
But how much of it really is related to, could be the stress at work, could be the stress at home, could be the stress in the world, or it's a combination of those things, as you're pointing out. Do they come from a background? This is where people get into therapy and trauma stuff. Sure. We're not here to do that kind of work.
No.
Although sometimes we get asked to.
No, I could use some of that work, but that's not what I'm here for right now.
That's right.
Yeah, 100%.
In terms of it, so from an organizational perspective, for leaders to really recognize how it's impacting their teams and how it's impacting themselves becomes very important for the performance, innovation, and other things about a team. It becomes very central.
So resourceful stress could help me perform.
Yeah.
Maybe, this isn't a maybe. I'm the kind of person that does thrive a little bit on the deadline coming up, right?
Yeah.
It gets me a little more creative. It makes me polish it up or finish it, right? Get to the finish line. But there are other stressors that are much less resourceful.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what's happening there for us?
Well, like I was saying a little bit, it's, there's so much, if one pays attention to the news and doesn't get stressed, you must be an automaton. I mean,
that's a robot, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you're hearing about things that are designed to generate fear. That's one dimension. What I've more recently learned is the feelings come from what's going on in our bodies.
Okay.
And the bodies is where stress comes from. So in order for us to address stress, we really need to start focusing on our body.
Wow. Okay. Okay, so it's a little bit of get out of my head and get out of my feelings and embody an awareness of embodiment of stress.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we notice it in our feelings, but that's where we get in touch with it.
Yeah,
it's like we name it as an emotion.
Okay.
But the emotion comes from a sensation that's happening through our body. So it's different for me now. When I'm coaching is I'm helping people get in touch with their body. With the techies I work with, I said, look, your body is not a brain taxi.
Yeah. Oh, I think was it Ken Robinson, the educator and TEDx. He's so funny. If you haven't watched him,
he's fabulous.
Love him. He talks about academics, and he is an academic, so he's picking on himself a little bit. And he said most academics do believe that their bodies are a brain taxi, and if you need proof of that, go to a party where there's a lot of academics and watch them dance. Right? It's just not happening, right? But your point that our bodies are more than this thing just carrying around our brains, which are thinking.
Yeah. Stop. for a moment
Take
and
that
notice. It's about noticing. In the coaching practice, for the moment, it's like take a moment and notice how you're feeling.
Yeah.
That's what word would you use or words would you use? And I loved your reframing in terms of it. But whatever they say with it, to name that, it's like okay.
Yeah.
And then to say, is there a place physically that you can name where it rests in your body? That's a big shift for people. They don't, I might start with, it's like, wiggle your toes.
Yeah.
So that you recognize you are a body first and foremost.
Yeah, just get your feet on the ground.
Just to recognize you are, that's why we're now talking more about embodiment, right?
Yeah.
Or somatic intelligence.
Somatic intelligence.
Not just emotional, that's somatic, the soma.
Yes.
In terms of it. And so many people don't even begin to pay attention to that. They might after they've been running, right? Or they're physically exercising. It's like, I notice something.
They feel the ache, they feel this.
Because that's very physical.
Sure.
But if you're sitting in your chair and someone, irritates you, you'll remember the emotion. You're not paying attention to the fact, my God, I'm sweating, I'm ready to kill them. That their body moves. So really what this suggests for leaders and teams is to spend some time to notice, to embody yourself, to notice where your body is. And to name it, to name the emotion and to notice how you're physically feeling.
I'm starting to feel like I'm not as somatically intelligent as I'd like to be. So body scanning, maybe just like putting awareness to my body, taking that pause.
Right.
What am I noticing?
Exactly.
What am I feeling? Name it.
And when your people are stressed, particularly, let's say you go into a team meeting.
Sure.
I have a great story about this. How do people become fully present? We use the present language.
Yeah.
Fully present isn't just mentally alert and awake. It's like to be body ready. So I will often go, if I'm with, engineer types, which I work a lot with, I'll say, when your computer breaks down, what do?
Mm-hmm.
You reboot it. Mm-hmm. So let's reboot our bodies.
Mm-hmm.
So, put your feet on the ground, just take a moment. If there's something on your mind, please write it down and put it aside so you can really be present for this meeting. And then just take a moment. If you feel comfortable, close your eyes or look at the ground and just breathe normally. That's where I might start. Mm. Now, eventually I might work up into actually some stress reduction techniques where I breathe in a couple of times and then just do a ha sound out.
Yeah.
I do that on coaching calls now with some of my techies that way back when they would have looked at me like I had 3 heads.
Sure.
And there are a bunch of techniques, a couple of which I think would be useful to share on this.
I'd love it.
On this podcast.
I'd love it.
I mean, that it can be very helpful, that are quick to do. I mean, sometimes it's just pausing, which we've talked about.
Yes.
Just pause and breathe and just notice what's going on in our body, whether it's a body scan or it's just like, how am I feeling right now? And to breathe. And then there are all these breathing techniques. The book, Breathe by James Nectar, has a whole zillion of them. Good book. In terms of it. The one I typically will ask leaders to do, because it's fast, is to breathe in through their nose twice and then breathe out through their mouth with a ha sound. So it goes like, and do it 2 more times. One more time. Then put a smile on your face, look at each other.
Yeah.
And do you notice any difference in how you're feeling?
Oh my gosh, yes. I actually, tension went out of my head and my temples and then went out through my shoulders and like out my hands. Yeah, I did. I felt, I felt something not quite wash out of me.
Wash out of you.
Not wash over, wash out of me. Yeah.
It's all, the technology or the anatomy on this is it's your vagus nerve. That's where all this polyvagal theory comes about. And, without getting into all the technical language about that, what you're doing is you're calming your system down. You're moving from the fear-flight response or the letting it go experience. The vagal nerve is, you're calming it down.
What really works for me, that kind of breathing, I do a body scan breathing exercise.
Yeah.
90% of the time before a call or meeting. Pretty regular practice. Not every, but pretty regular.
Yeah.
What works even better for me is actually sauntering. I need to move. So I've always been the person who said, meditation doesn't work for me because I can't sit still. And I think it was Ralph Simone, my business partner, and you've known Ralph longer than I have, said, well, why don't you try sauntering? So what's that? Right. So it's a walking meditation.
That's right.
Right. It's just being really mindful of feeling your foot touch and then leave the ground.
Right.
And instead of focusing necessarily on breath work, it's actually focusing on an intentional movement.
Yeah.
And for some of our listeners who can't sit still like me, just trying a movement work in sauntering.
Yeah.
I do it somewhere very safe. I know the surroundings, so I can soften my gaze. So I'm not really watching my feet. And it can work in a hallway. It can work in a safe path on a trail. Don't do it in a busy traffic setting, right? Because you want calm and you want softness,
right?
But that sauntering works wonders for me. So I'll just take a few minutes and saunter.
What you're reminding me of is like if you're on a long Zoom call, and just saying everybody, if I'm facilitating, it's like, let's take a moment, and if there's a window, look outside. What's the furthest thing you can see? Focus on it.
So changing your focal length.
Change your focal length to long.
Yeah, keep going.
And then after that, it's like, can you do peripherally, how much can you bring in? So like right now, if I'm looking at you, I can focus on the tip of your nose for like a minute. And then it's like, okay, stop that. And now look at how much can you see in the whole room for another minute.
Okay.
And then come back. So you're basically relaxing your eye so that you can be back on the screen. And it also has a calming effect on the system.
Oh, brilliant. Right. So the context is in the Zoom meeting or the Teams meeting. I've been perhaps focused in that space. This is a counterbalance.
That's right.
Focusing practice.
Right.
I don't have direct experience, but I worked with a leader who he called them listening tours. And he went through, so in the built environment of manufacturing, he went through different areas of the entire facility and just paused and listened, much like I'd prefer the natural environment of what you did as well. Right. Call me a tree hugger, that's fine. But he did that as a sense of a barometer of what was going on in the organization.
Yeah.
Where was he hearing stress?
Right.
Where was he hearing calm? Where was he hearing productivity? He could sense it by just visiting the different areas of the built environment.
That's right.
Not the forest.
Right.
But we can go on these listening tours in our workplace. We can go on these listening tours in our organization as well.
When I was doing quite a bit of work with a couple of companies in New York City a number of years ago, and I would love to get there in the morning when everybody was going to work and get in the elevator and feel the energy of the people and the facial expressions and notions to read the culture. And then at the end of the day, to do the elevator tour. To just see, you could tell so much from that felt sense of an organization by doing those kinds of things.
You're making me think of the TV show Severance. Did you?
No, I've heard that.
Oh, so the elevator was a critical component. So it was, long story short, the technology that was implanted in their brains, the elevator turned it on or off to create the total division between personal life and work life.
Oh my goodness.
Right. So the elevator became that transformational portal. You can imagine all the benefits and problems.
I have to watch that.
It's a very different storytelling through that show as well. I loved it. It's not for everyone. But your point in this is we do enter and exit places differently. And as leaders, we can be listening, observing, watching for that.
Yeah.
maybe some of those are stress points for some
Right.
individuals, right? I used to work with a CEO who begged people not to back into their parking spots.
Mm.
He believed they were looking for a fast exit all day long. I think he was right. There was something about parking head in
Interesting.
that had you more energetically committed to the day,
Yeah.
right? So how are people entering and leaving
Right.
your spaces?
Yeah. So I mean, the point that I think that's important as leaders, you need to work on your own. How do you find techniques that work for you to reduce stress? They're physical solutions mainly.
Mm-hmm.
Breathing, there are a lot of breathing techniques.
Mm-hmm.
If you look, if you just go Google it or use whatever AI you want and say, I'm looking for de-stressing, breathing techniques, what would you recommend? You're going to find a ton of them.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them will be under vagal or vagal tone.
Mm-hmm.
There's even lots of music that you can use that really is designed to change the frequency of what's going on in your body.
Absolutely.
Certain smells work for different people to actually do that. One of them, I go to a yoga program, and afterwards she always gives us, a new smell each time that she put on her hands.
Yeah.
And, I'm already pretty calmed down when I'm in Shavasana, but at that point it just takes me down to another level.
No, it's another sense that we can.
That's right.
We can use there. So stress brings us closer and closer. The unresourceful stress brings us closer and closer to that kind of poor performance.
And when that happens, double, triple apologies are essential.
Yeah.
Say that was not me that day, or something of that sort. Yeah. That's how do you generate forgiveness and restore trust after a situation like that.
No, it's huge, right? We sometimes call that the space for grace, but I like the idea of restoring through forgiveness. We have to do the work. It's not enough to ask for it.
No, it's not. It's not short either.
Right. To your point, it was it's 2 or 3 times the work to do that.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. So no one's immune to stress.
No.
We need some of it. Some of it's resourceful. Some of it's not. We're just asking leaders to consider how stress is happening in their lives and in their leadership, and what they might do to have a counterbalance, a reset, and some regular practice to make them show up as their best leader. Man.
Yeah.
Newell, thank you.
Oh, this has been really fun.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.